I cussed out a D1 cross country runner. Senior year of high school, probably halfway through cross country season. My friends and I never really talked to chicks until senior year of high school. There was this group of chicks that we were running around, hanging out with. My buddy and I, my buddy, we'll call him Matt, we were talking to two of them at the time. And I'll be straight up, these girls were just fucking full of games. The type of girls, and I know everybody has them, especially in high school, but the type of girls that just send you mixed signals. You know, they're talking to 3 other guys, but you're their favorite one, and they just kind of string you along. All the games and shit that personally I never could stand in high school. This group of girls, specifically the 2 triplets, to Matt and I, were kind of telling us they were coming to our meet in Lexington. They were excited to check out a cross-country race. And we were like genuinely like, this is great. Like the fact that we're talking to girls and they want to come to our cross-country race. And let's be real, cross-country is not a sport that you're usually like, all the bad bitches are coming to the cross-country meets. You know, not one of those type of sports. So we were pretty excited about it. And when you went down for races, all the teams had their different tents. And, you know, especially a big race like that down in Lexington, that's a big meet for Kentucky. So you get all kinds of schools from around the state. We're down there. They show up. They talk to us for maybe 2 minutes, and then they're over at this other tent. They're going on and on about this fucking kid named Spencer, who's apparently like a D1 cross-country runner going to Ohio State. And we're like, okay, it's time out. Like, that's cool, but like, I thought you came down to hang out with us. Turns out these triplets met him at some lake house, and I guess he was just the nicest guy, so cool, so funny. And we're like, okay, fuck these, like, fuck you guys. So I ain't gonna lie, for me, I was like, fuck this. I'm so pissed. Like, why the like, I wouldn't have been mad if they said, hey, we're coming down to see like this D1 cross country runner, we'll say what up to you guys. Like, that would have been great. But don't act like you're coming down to see us when you're gonna go talk, like, suck this other dude's dick the whole time and talk about how great he is. Like, fuck that. So we are getting ready for the race, and I, you know, say to Matt, have you seen this kid? Like, is he really as cool as everyone's saying? And Matt's like, I don't know. We have this other kid on the team. We'll call him Ben. Ben comes up and he's like, dude, you should see this fucking kid. And I'll lead by saying none of me and my buddies were anywhere, and I'm not saying we're like Ryan Reynolds type dudes from a look standpoint, but we ain't all that fucking ugly. This motherfucker was ugly as shit. And Ben's like, fucking swamp donkey over there. They think that he's so fucking cool. And I'm like, yeah, what the fuck? And I'm like, time out. On top of the fact that, like, this motherfucker's ugly as shit, let's be real. Cross country, even if you are D1 in cross country, nobody fucking cares. Like, we're all running this sport because we don't care. We're just here to hang out. So he can't be that fucking studly, right? Because it's cross country. You got to be like skinny to be good, right? Like, that's the sport. We're getting ready to take off for the race, and this kid went to the school big time. A lot of D1 kids went there but they're like the most random school for like D1 sports. Like, their best D1 sports are swimming and cross country. Swimming's only cool in the Olympics, and nobody gives a shit about cross country. So we're like, fuck this kid. Like, I'd say to Matt, what's this kid fucking look like? And Matt's like, dude, he's a stud. Like, he's gonna be probably finish top 3 in this race of like 800 kids. Like, we're never gonna touch him. And I'm like, I don't care if I'm close to him in the race, but I got something to say to him. So we're getting ready for the race to start, and Matt points out who he is, and I'm like, all right, cool. So I say to Matt, because at the beginning of a cross country race, it's this big open field, okay? And I told Matt, like, when the gun goes off, just follow me up because you're gonna want to hear this. And he's like, all right. So again, we were pissed. These girls came down, really set us up like they were coming to see us. They obviously weren't. So we were like, fuck these bitches. At least I was. I can't speak for everybody, but for me, I was like, fuck these bitches. Like, what a waste of my fucking time. So race starts, gun goes off, and again, big open field that you all sprint the first like 400 yards, and then you kind of squeeze your way through, and the course like shallows out and like funnels down into the rest of the race, which is a 3-mile race. So at the beginning we sprint out, and I'm like, fuck it, I sprint out right to the front. I find like the top 3 runners. I see him with his stupid little fucking headband, which I would have loved to just pull down and beat the shit out of him, but I didn't. So I run up next to him, and I'm like, hey, are you Spencer? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, you fucking pussy. He has no idea who I am. And again, it all comes back to completely unwarranted. Didn't need to do it. But comes back to the fact that I was pissed at these stupid bitches. Don't waste your time on game playing bitches. That would be my advice to the young kings out there who are in the high school, college age range. If a girl's playing games with you, don't waste your fucking time. Because I did that with multiple chicks in high school, multiple chicks in college, and I missed out on having a lot of fun with me and my buddies and just letting a chick come to me that was actually interested in me versus out chasing bitches that I don't even talk to. These chicks that I was all worked up about, I don't even fucking talk to. I could not tell you what they're doing today in their lives. Nor do I care because they ended up being completely fucking fake. So that would be my biggest advice to the young kings out there. For some reason, from like the age range of, 16, 17 up to like 23, most girls, they don't know what they want, and they can't just be straightforward with you. Guys are too simple. Guys are like, at least I am, and me and my buddies are like straight up like, if you like me, just tell me. If you're not into me, I don't really give a shit. Just tell me so I can move on to the next chick so I'm not all caught up in this bullshit. So I did that to myself a lot. It's a lesson I'm teaching you today on Talks with Tom. Anyway, I cussed the kid out, dropped back, and drop back into the race, finish, whatever. After the race, the girls are, of course, standing with Dickhead. So I walk up, and he's like, hey, man, what was that about? I was like, I don't know. I just kind of seemed like a bitch, and I decided to fucking say it. He didn't know what to do with himself. And, ended up telling him, like, man, I was just joking around because, the girls said they knew you, so I thought it'd be funny, which it was funny. But yeah, so game playing bitches, man, not worth the time, I'm telling you. And that was a funny moment, one of my favorite cross-country moments, honestly. I think I ended up, like, laughing at myself the whole rest of the race because I'm like, I can't believe I just cussed a kid out for no reason. And he was really good, D1 runner. I think he ended up losing his scholarship, though. It really shows you how smart those girls were when it came to picking dudes. But classic story, regret nothing from it. Great life lesson for me as far as just how chicks play games, especially when you're younger. So that's it. More cross-country stories to come. Talks with Tom.
I was riding around town thinking to myself, is it gonna get